We had such a great conversation with Jenna earlier this week with Great Expectations. Wasn't that awesome? The money maker moves, right?
I got home and talked to Jim, and
Yeah.
he's like, we need to sit down with her. So,
Honestly,
Jenna, get ready.
The wheels are moving with Great
Yes,
Expectations.
so good.
Doing some, and they have that big auction this weekend, which we'll be talking about in the
Can
event
I
section.
auction you off there?
I think that'd be super not
I think
good.
I'll get like $5.
All right, Sonnies, let's get into this conversation because today we're welcoming someone whose work has been lighting up film festivals, travel screens, and our own St. Augustine creative scene. He's a filmmaker, a storyteller, and a visual poet. And if you've ever seen one of his projects, you know he doesn't just capture the images, he captures the feeling, the vibe, and the culture.
With more than 1,500 videos created, an award-winning feature documentary, and a screenplay that's already earning major recognition on the festival circuit, this is a man who turns real life into cinematic magic.
Sonnies, please give me a big hand for Brady Skye. Buddy, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Super excited to have you on Sonny TV. This is an awesome honor for us to talk to you today.
Oh, don't say that.
No, it's the truth. I mean, literally, your films are amazing. I mean, I got to be able to dive into some of them, and I just really want to get into the story of what got you into filmmaking. How did you dive into this whole culture?
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me. I got into it at a very young age. I feel like in middle school, I was playing around with cameras with friends and really never stopped, but music was always the thing for me as a kid. So I was a pianist and classically trained pianist and guitarist, and then was in a band. And sometime in college, high school, college was really when I started to make that shift into film. And I just got really excited about the medium of putting visuals to music and
Did you like storytelling? Because you do a great job with it.
Oh yeah, I think that the reason that I get so excited about film is because of the impact that it had on me, you know, as a kid, being in the theater and still to this day.
That's awesome.
So when you were growing up, and people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer?
Yeah, good question.
I don't think I really ever had one.
Did you really? So you were just kind of like, I want to be a surfer?
I don't come from a family of artists. So
Okay.
it was very scary to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to be an artist. Like nobody knew what that meant in my world. So I just kind of kept doing stuff. And
I always find it interesting with super creative people when you ask them like, what did you want to be when they grow up? And they're like, oh, I wanted to be like a doctor. And then it goes completely the other way.
Yeah.
So
But like,
pretty
what was the
interesting.
aha moment? Like the light bulb turned on and like, I can make money doing this.
I don't know about the making money doing this part, but yeah, there was a couple of moments. One was I went on a trip to Africa actually when I was 15, and I was filming this video, and I had got a camera, and I think that was a very pivotal time that I was like, I really want to keep doing this, you know. And I had made my first kind of travel video, filming all the animals, and got really hooked on that.
What was your favorite animal to film?
Oh, I don't know.
All of them?
Probably like the elephants.
Yeah, they're so majestic. I love that.
Yeah.
But like, speaking of like things that you like to film, it does St. Augustine or St. Johns County, does any of that picturesque scenery, does it any of that inspire you at all with any of your films?
I think that the scenery inspired me here. I was very fortunate growing up to have traveled the world, so I had been exposed to a lot of different places and cultures, which I think helped. And here, you know, it's always been inspiring to be around the history and architecture and the ocean and the beach.
And then farmlands west of here too, which is majestic out there too.
Yep, Florida's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then, but I would say the people really are what stood out, was shaping my decision making and the projects I worked on. You know, it was really the people that I met here.
So now when you watch a movie, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no,
one
you're
more
good,
question.
you're good, you're good.
So when you watch a movie, do you just watch it to enjoy it, or do you watch it and
Yeah.
you're like, I cannot
Are
believe
you playing science?
they did that. That angle is all wrong.
Yeah, how do
Like,
you do that?
How do you just watch movies when you do it for a living?
So I try to let myself kind of not think too much about things when I first watch a movie and just get lost in the story and everything. And then if I really like the movie, I usually end up watching it a second or third time. So if I go to a theater and I'm like, wow, this really like blew me away, I want to watch it again, then I'll go back to the theater and watch it again.
You don't judge. You don't judge the work, not even a little bit.
I just try to be very picky about what I go see.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I think just based on who directed it and who wrote it and maybe who's in it and the trailer and all that, I try to like make sure that it's something that, and also just I don't set a certain amount of expectations for a film, or like I kind of know what some films are gonna be and who did them, and I'm like, I just go enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
All
you
right.
know?
Yeah. I definitely want to dive into the chat of Beyond the Ruins. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity to see the Maya culture. I mean, not anybody can be able to do what you experienced. So how did this all come about?
I was very fortunate and to get this opportunity. I was making a couple of travel films and did one in Belize and Guatemala, and somebody found that and just saw the way that I was traveling and kind of my interest in all of that.
With
and
respect. That was really apparent in this documentary, I felt. There's so much respect for the culture, and you let them tell the story as opposed to you telling it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was I actually never really intended in being in the documentary. I wanted to just be behind the camera, but because it's a different culture and we're trying to translate all this to an American audience or maybe even more popular, audience would be like in Europe, where they're very interested in Central America and this culture. So it really helped to have somebody be that kind of translator into a lot of these philosophies and mentalities that are very hard to understand in their language. And especially translating Mayan, we just decided that that's not going to be possible, because once we come back with all the footage, we're not going to be able to have anybody help translate it. So we ended up using some Spanish, and then I bridged the gap with a lot of the messaging, to make it all make sense. And we worked with them very closely to make sure that this was the story, that we're translating their culture properly.
Yeah.
And we're able to communicate a little bit with them back and forth on WhatsApp and things like that.
That's cool. I mean, like, the trust factor has to be pretty intense.
Yes. So
how do you gain that?
The relationships were very important to build over time, and I was lucky, I really hit it off with my co-producer Lance, and we just had very similar hearts in this, and he was crucial in building those relationships, like before I even met him. So when I went there with him, they were still reserved a little bit of me, and a little bit hesitant of like, well, who's this person? And
Totally, yeah.
so you just have to build those relationships. You don't just show up with a camera and start filming.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
So,
The Amish people will take you out for that.
See, exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. That could be his next route.
Oh, no,
the
don't do
Amish
it.
go to
And they should be
Lancaster.
discerning because of their history of being marginalized.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit too about this screenplay that I don't know very much about. So if you could just walk me down this road, because this is a very big celebrated screenplay, right?
It's gotten some recognition. It's a very exciting story that I think has never been told. I think there was some risk in writing this because it is sort of a hot topic, and it involves the troubled teen industry, which we've seen some documentaries come out now, but they're all very different, and even Netflix doing this kind of weird take on this show recently. But they're all such different situations, so the industry's huge, and all the places are run very different. So I still feel that even though this stuff that's come out, it just is not quite the same as the way that I wrote it and my experience, because I was in one as a teenager.
So this is called Beneath the Dust. Am I saying that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What all is it about?
So it's a really like a coming of age psychological thriller genre blend, but it's also very Western, neo-Western, because it takes place in the stunning American West. And there's this illusion of freedom that you have there, because there's really no like barbed wire fences. But it's, it's about the troubled teen industry and being in one of these programs. And And it's pretty wild. You got a lot of teenagers from different walks of life from all over the world, and they're there for different reasons, and they kind of get thrown into this. And it's a very interesting situation that they get put in. So,
Yeah, it's
Well,
tough.
you skated over that you were in something similar to this in your youth. What was that all about?
I was at one of these programs in Utah, and
Wow.
like I said, they're all very different. So the one that Paris Hilton was at was more of like a prison situation. Her story is very dark, and I have never been somebody who wanted to write about that situation, like the prison stuff. That never
Right.
really excited me.
It's oppressive. Yeah.
So I think what's cool about this is just there was a sense of adventure of where I was. I mean, there was horses, we were riding horses. There was some really crazy things that happened. So I drew on some things that I experienced and worked that into my story, but also it's dramatized, you know, for the screen.
That's cool, though. I think that's a great story, and it's a different perspective of looking at that story, too.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, there's so many different, and I've watched quite a few of those documentaries, and I've had the opportunity to speak with some of the children who've come, and the adolescents who've come from those camps when I worked at Epic. So they're all different, but the underlying factor is somewhat the same, and it's very, I don't know how to say, slightly
Finding?
creepy.
Oh, really?
Creepy, and you know, the theme really, if you get down to the underlying themes, it's acceptance, it's connection, it's these kids trying to figure out who they are, and they all have different backgrounds, and they were dealt different cards, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, well, why are they struggling, or are they even struggling, or who is it in the family that's struggling, why are they there, and makes you question the mental health industry for these kids, and is this really the best option? You know.
Yeah.
Super important.
Also super important is music in films. I mean, a soundtrack can make or break a film. Charlie XCX is now coming out with Wuthering Heights soundtrack, and it's incredible. She's partnering with the Velvet Underground. Like, there's so many really cool nuances in music and how that can make or break a film. Can you talk about how you dive into this part? Because I'm such a music junkie.
Okay, yeah, I mean, music and film are inseparable. Like, they always have been and they always will be. I think a lot of my inspiration comes from music, and music it's a feeling, right? It kind of gives you this feeling, which when you pair that with like a visual and real life, or it could be animated, but each scene in a movie kind of makes you feel something or moves something forward, but you also feel a certain way, maybe from that scene.
It's the vibe.
And music is no different. Yeah, it's like it's a vibe, and a lot of my inspiration has come from music. Like, I'll listen to other movie scores sometimes when I'm writing. A lot of times I write in silence, but I will listen to it, and it'll help kind of bring out like the emotion. And film is also music. It's an orchestra in itself. You know, even without music behind it, you're orchestrating something that has a rhythm and it has a pace, and so they're inseparable.
So who are some of your inspirations out there? Like, who is somebody that, like, oh, if they're doing a film right now, I've got to go see that?
I think anybody who's doing something original, like an original vision.
Cool.
But there's definitely some directors that have inspired me. Some of them are not around anymore, you know. I've got a lot of inspiration from Spielberg and Hitchcock and Denis Villeneuve, and I'll mess up his name, but who did Dune and okay. He's doing incredible things with his direction. Cinematographers like Roger Deakins have been a big inspiration. Even Paul Thomas Anderson.
Amazing.
So,
yeah.
Do you watch? Okay, I don't hate to say it. I love superhero movies. Like, do you watch them, like Step Brothers? Like, do you watch those kind of like dumb
slapstick,
humor?
silly comedy?
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot more of them. I feel like what ends up happening is I end up watching things that are more along the lines of where I'm at now mentally. So if I'm taking on a project that's going to take years, I end up I stay in that vibe. And I tend to like shy away from things that aren't in the similar genre. But I'm not opposed to watching and
just
stuff.
laugh,
It's fun.
right?
Yeah. Well, and you know, with the studio, I did check out the studio with Seth Rogen, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
absolutely
It's
hysterical.
Amazing.
I mean, it's scary how real it is for the film industry.
True,
but
right? Yeah.
A little bit disturbing, but also just absolutely hysterical. Yeah.
What about tech? What about equipment? I mean, how much do you put an emphasis on that?
He
I mean,
uses an iPhone.
I know. I mean, a
Hello.
lot of people use iPhones nowadays, and they're incredible cameras too. But how much emphasis do you put on tech and equipment?
Quite a bit.
Okay,
So, working on, I'm developing a feature now with a DP, and like we're talking every single day about how we're going to do it. And it's not a bigger camera is not always better. You want to be nimble, you know, and decide like how are you going to actually be moving around and shooting, and what do you have to work with? How big is your crew? How big do you want your crew to be versus small?
I mean, do you remember
there's
like
just-
Blair Witch Project back in the
Oh
day?
my God.
That was literally
Yeah.
like a
That's
camcorder.
my yard right now.
And it was like crazy.
I'm pretty
right?
sure that was some UCF students
Okay,
too.
yeah, and it was
Yeah.
just super like basic, like
Yeah.
that was original.
That was very
so
original,
different and
yeah.
groundbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Have you ever gone that route of just being raw like that, or do you really need it to be more of a polished?
I didn't. So I've never attempted to do a feature.
it.
I've done so many music videos, commercials. I did the feature documentary, but now I'm really focusing on like my first feature. So I can't say that I really attempted to do anything like Blair Witch because
Okay, yeah.
I just in my 20s I was more focused on shorter projects for some reason.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to, and I got a little distracted for a while too with Instagram and social media and
Yeah,
stuff.
of course.
But because that changed so much in such a short time, I'm like, okay, I got to get back to.
Well, how's that affected viewers too? I mean, that attention span. I mean, literally, we have a live show every single day, twice a day, and that is, we're so grateful for the beautiful audience that we have. But like, we'll get way more traction on our clips and our dips and our reels and things like that on Instagram. How has that changed the film industry, do you think?
I think it's changed dramatically, but I think I tend to just focus on, like, stay focused on what I want to do.
Yeah. that's
So
what
I
do too,
think
yeah.
if people want to if they want to do the social media thing, which I did for a while, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm just getting back to like what I got into this for originally, which is features. And I think there's a ton of people out there still who are just diehard cinema, feature film people, and they're still going to the theaters and they still love the format. And that's just, you just have to do what you get excited about.
Yeah. Hey, how can people see your work? I know that I got to be able to, thank you for Amazon Prime, we got to be able to see the documentary, but like, how can people see more of you?
Yeah, so Amazon Prime for the documentary right now, and then I have a YouTube channel I've done quite a bit on. So just Brady Skye on YouTube, and a lot of my work that I've done is not on the internet. It just ends up being wherever. I never even see it, or I don't know. It's just like commercial stuff, and I've worked on a lot of projects that aren't on my website. I have some things on my website too, but probably YouTube. And
This is the best to follow. That's
if
good.
you ever need any actors,
Oh my
you
goodness.
know, just let
Yeah,
us know.
I do.
Well, and he'll provide Kraft's food table. We have
Will
to
there be
have that.
snacks?
Yeah.
I do need, yes, there's always snacks.
What are the snacks though?
They're usually really good.
Really?
Good food, yeah.
All right.
Amazing,
I'm in.
amazing
I'm
chat,
hired.
sir. Thank you so much for your time today. This has been
So great to meet
Thank
you.
you. I could talk to you all day.
If we, I
ahead.
know we have a lot of film students too that watch because we're also helping with the St. Augustine Film Festival. So if there is a young person out there right now watching this interview, what do you got to say? What do you get them motivated to be able to, dive into this industry?
I think you just have to start filming and like I said, do what you love doing. So if you love movies, then just get some friends and start filming one, even if it's a short. If you love reels and you want to do more like Instagram, TikTok stuff, then start doing it.
I love it.
But you just have to, the hardest part is just starting to do it and let go of your ego and confidence and know that you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look
like,
at Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God,
I mean,
who knew?
you should see my first, commercial. It's like I can't even
What is it?
look at it.
What is it?
I did one for like Reef Restaurant a long time ago.
Oh yeah, the
and
views
just,
of the reef.
I
Yeah.
mean, just some of my early work, I'm just like, I don't, you know what I mean? You
Cringe.
end up evolving like constantly.
But
so-
but you know what? That's the stuff you gotta love. You're like,
That's-
oh my God, I was a disaster, but I love it.
Yeah.
Shattering the glass
You
ceiling.
know.
Thank you so much again for this interview. This
Yes.
is super fun. Please keep us updated on all fronts. You've definitely got some big, major fans today. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you, Brady.
Thank you guys.
And we're going to pivot over to our friends over at Maritime Creative and Flashes and Brilliance.
I think I found your commercial.